Imagine this. You just finished the best quarter of your career. You shipped a feature that brought in real revenue. Your manager told you to your face that you crushed it. Then, performance review season hits, and you find out you've been placed in the bottom 15%. Not because you did anything wrong, but because someone in a room you'll never enter decided that 15% of every team has to lose. That's stack ranking. And if you work in big tech, it's probably happening to you right now. You just don't know it yet. Welcome to the Tech Trap. This is the channel where we break down the systems big tech companies built, not to help you grow, but to control you. Today we're talking about the single most controversial performance management system in corporate America: stack ranking, forced distribution, calibration. Whatever your company calls it, it all means the same thing. Let's get into it. Here's how it works. Every 6 months or every year, depending on the company, your manager sits down in a room with other managers. This room is usually called a calibration session. And in that room, they don't just review your work. They rank every single person on the team against each other, not against their goals, not against their job description, against each other. The result is a forced distribution curve. The company decides in advance that roughly 15 to 20% of employees will be rated as top performers. About 60 to 70% will fall in the middle, meets expectations, and the remaining 10 to 15%, they're placed at the bottom, low performers. And here's the part they never tell you during onboarding. That bottom bucket isn't based on whether you actually performed badly. It's a quota. Somebody has to go in there. Even on a team of rock stars, somebody gets the bottom rating, because the system requires it. Stock ranking didn't start in Silicon Valley. It started at General Electric in the 1980s. Jack Welch, the CEO of GE, called it the vitality curve. His system was simple and brutal. Every year, managers had to sort employees into three buckets. The top 20% were stars, the middle 70% were vital, and the bottom 10% were gone, fired. Every year, no exceptions. Welch called it rank and yank, and for a while Wall Street loved it. GE's stock price went through the roof, so naturally every other company copied it. Microsoft adopted it. Yahoo adopted it. Amazon built their own version, and for decades it was treated like gospel, the only rigorous way to manage performance. But here's what nobody talks about. GE eventually abandoned it. Microsoft abandoned it in 2013 after employees said it was destroying collaboration. People were sabotaging teammates to avoid the bottom bucket. Yahoo abandoned it. The companies that made stack ranking famous all admitted it was broken, but big tech, they just rebranded it. Let me walk you through what actually happens inside the calibration room at a company like Google, Amazon, or Meta, because it's not what you think. Step 1. Your manager writes your performance review. They give you a rating. Let's say they rate you as exceeds expectations. Great, right? You're safe. Wrong. That rating is a draft, a suggestion. It means nothing until it survives calibration. Step 2. Your manager walks into a room with every other manager at your level in your org. Sometimes directors are there too. They have a list of every employee and they start debating. Your manager says you exceeded expectations, but another manager says, wait, their person also exceeded expectations, and headcount for the top bucket is limited. So now it's a negotiation. Your manager is literally arguing for you against other managers who are arguing for their people. And whoever argues the weakest, their person drops. Then, step 3. The curve gets enforced. If too many people are in the top bucket, people get moved down. If not enough people are in the bottom bucket, people get moved down. It doesn't matter what you actually did. What matters is how well your manager plays politics in that room. And you're not in that room. You don't know what's being said. You don't get to defend yourself. You just get the result. This is why you'll sometimes talk to someone who got a low rating, and they'll say, I have no idea what I did wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. Their manager just lost the argument. So if stack ranking is so broken, why does every major tech company still use some version of it? 3 reasons. Reason 1. It makes layoffs easy. If you've already labeled the bottom 15% of every team as low performers, you don't need to justify anything when it's time to cut headcount. The list already exists. You just pull it up and start sending calendar invites. This is exactly what happened at Meta in 2022 and 2023. They increased the percentage of people getting low ratings right before the layoffs. Coincidence? Come on. Reason 2, it creates a culture of internal competition, and some executives actually want that. They believe that if employees are scared of being at the bottom, they'll work harder, they'll ship faster, they'll put in weekends. The fear is the feature, not the bug. The system is designed to make you anxious, because anxious employees don't negotiate, they don't push back, they don't job up. They keep their heads down and grind. Reason 3. It protects the company legally. If you ever try to claim wrongful termination, the company points at your rating. Look, they were a documented low performer. We followed our process. The stack rank is the paper trail. It doesn't matter that the rank was assigned in a closed room based on political negotiation. On paper, it looks objective. Alright, so what do you do if you're inside this system right now? I'm not going to tell you to just quit. That's not realistic for most people. But there are things you can do to protect yourself. First, document everything. Every positive piece of feedback, every shipped feature, every metric you moved. Don't wait for review season to compile this. Keep a running doc, updated every single week. When calibration comes, your manager is going to be in that room arguing for you from memory. Give them ammunition. Send them a summary of your wins before review season. Make it easy for them to fight for you. Canning wins the nest. In stack ranking, the people who get protected are the people whose work is visible to the people in the room. If your skip level manager doesn't know your name, you are at risk. Period. This isn't about self-promotion for ego. This is about survival. Make sure the decision makers know what you're contributing. Third, learn to read the signals. If your manager starts giving you vague feedback, like I need you to increase your impact, or I want to see more leadership, that's not coaching. That's them pre-building the justification to place you lower. When the feedback gets abstract and unmeasurable, that's the warning sign. Push back immediately. Ask for specific, measurable goals in writing. Fourth, and this is the one nobody wants to hear, always be interview ready. Not because you should panic quit, but because the moment you stop being afraid of losing your job is the moment the system loses its power over you. The entire point of stack ranking is to keep you anxious. The best defense against that is knowing you have options. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Stack ranking isn't a performance system, it's a control system. It was designed to make cutting people easy and to keep the survivors scared enough to stay productive. The curve doesn't measure how good you are. It measures how expendable the company decided you are this quarter. And the worst part, you'll never see the room where it happens. You won't hear the arguments. You won't know that your rating had nothing to do with your work and everything to do with which manager talked louder. That's the trap. You play a game you can't see, by rules nobody explains, with consequences that follow you to your next job. Now you know how it works, and knowing is the first step to not getting caught in it. If you work in tech and you've ever felt like the system was rigged, it's because it is, and this is just one piece of it. Subscribe to the Tech Trap because we're breaking down every single system they use, from golden handcuffs to leveling walls to pip factories. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Drop a comment if your company does this. I guarantee the stories are going to be wild. I'll see you in the next